Hello, I am Trey. Nice gentleman holding the iPad here is Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Shake the pad to know
It's me.
Ascension being there. So we're here at one of many places where you can see Mount Fuji around Japan. This is a small village called Saiko. Is that right?
Psycho, but not like the movie. It's S-A-I-K-O in the Japanese fashion.
Saiko. And so, anyway, I want to give a quick tip. We've been shooting here all morning, and I always do this thing when I'm out shooting that maybe it'll help you too. What I do is I want to make sure that I just kind of canvas the area with as many photos as possible so that later I can go back and choose the best ones. Like, for example, there's this cool, I don't know, whatever structure this is with the bell up there, this old village structure. And I'm not sure if it's a better shot to like zoom in and get that bell in focus, like at a low f-stop, like f4 or something, then have Mount Fuji be all kind of blurry in the background. Or maybe it's better to get everything in focus. So what I do is I take a series of 5 shots at a low f-stop, and then I take another series of shots at a high f-stop, like f10, f11, f12, just so that everything is in focus. And then later on, when I get home, I'll check to see which feels better. What's the name of that song, Tom? Ever count your chips till there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
The Gambler.
The Gambler.
Kenny Rogers.
That's right. So you come over here close, and I'll show people my settings if you want.
You gotta know when to hold them.
And know when to hold them.
Know when to walk away.
And know when to run. So
up on the settings.
Yeah, let me pull up the settings here. So, what's going on here? Okay, well my ISO, let's set it to 100 because it's so bright outside. Plus we want no noise. So this will be my f11 series. This is a D800, by the way. And the lens is on here. This is the 28 to 300. Okay? And I always keep my little bayonet on because it protects against lens flare and also protects in case I bump it into something. It protects the lens element. Okay, so anyway, I'm pretty far zoomed out here. What else is going on? Okay, so let me pull this up. My bracketing's at 5, stepping by 1 from -2 to +2. All right, so I'll compose away here and see what we can get. So there's a tourist there, which I usually don't like the tourist, but when they're Japanese tourists, it's much more quaint. It's not like somebody wearing a Spice Girls t-shirt.
And they have nice bells attached to them.
They do. Why do are there bears here?
I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
Okay, so anyway, that's one series that was at F11. I think it was, yeah, F11. I'll do another one at F4 and see how this ends up. There's a lot of waiting involved with auto bracketing. Konnichiwa. Arigatou gozaimasu. I like these guys. They're always so happy. Okay, so anyway, we'll see how that turns out. This is where things might totally fall apart because behind me right now is Mount Fuji, and it's getting close to sunset, but it's all covered with clouds. So, kind of worried. But we're going to be here where, half of photography is just showing up. So maybe the clouds will clear away and something nice will happen. And I'm going to try something a little different here because what I want to do is get this nice temple behind me and get Mount Fuji over there on the left. And by the way, we found this place thanks to Stuck on Earth. I was surfing around and trying to find a cool spot to take this photo. And then we used Google Maps to get here. This has been my big discovery since being in Japan, is that the Apple Maps just totally sucks. I mean, it is ridiculous. It's embarrassing how bad it was. I didn't realize how bad it was until I got the Google Maps app, and it's night and day. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is use, not this lens, because you can come over here, or come around this way. I'm not using this lens. This is the 28 to 300, and it's much too tight to get everything I want to get. All right, so this is how I change lenses. right? I'm not saying you should change lenses like this, but this is how I change lenses. Okay, so since oftentimes I'm a one-man show, I'm going to just loosen a little bit like that, okay? And then I will open my bag, which I don't always lay on nearby shrubbery, but in this case I found some shrubbery. And this, oh, that's the wrong lens, that's my 50 prime. This is the 16 millimeter fisheye. All right, it's got that little dealing bopper on there, and it's got a little back thing on there. And the reason I'm using fisheye is, and I don't really want to be using the fisheye, frankly, but my 14-24 is broken. I set it into NPS to get fixed, and it's lost in the mail somewhere. So I'm quite upset about it. All right, so anyway, I'm going to loosen this thing and take it all the way off. Now the problem with this thing is there's no little dot, so I never know where to put it on. So, you know, there's technically a very small chance, but I got it. I always feel good, like I hit the lottery when I get that thing on the first time. So what's going to happen, unfortunately, with this 16 millimeter is everything will be totally, I hate getting this thing on. Oh, it's on. So the bad thing about this fisheye situation is it's going to make everything a little discombobulated and warped. But if you use Lightroom or Photoshop and go into lens corrections, oftentimes what I'll do is I won't just check that checkbox which automatically fixes everything, but there's another mode you can go into with a slider, and I will subtly adjust the distortion correction, because sometimes I don't want it fully adjusted. Sometimes I just want it a little bit adjusted. So I've noticed it totally depends on the situation, but sometimes you want it a little bit adjusted, sometimes all the way. The other thing that really helps, it helps a ton in post, is if you stay level with the horizon with these fisheyes. If you're level with the horizon, it makes distortions much easier to deal with. So anyway, even if we can't see Mount Fuji, I still think I'll get some good shots. I'm trying to be positive and have a good attitude. I think that's the other half of being a photographer. All right, we'll see how it turns out. If you have any questions, just drop me a little YouTube comment or a Google Plus or whatever, and I'll figure it out for you. Thank you. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes since I did that last video, and you can see the clouds have cleared away. Lo and behold, so this is good news. And I still have my my fisheye on here. See, Tom is up there with his 14-24. He's if you look close, you can see
a little broken.
Yeah, he's riding dirty there.
14-24 epidemic over the last couple of months.
He fell earlier. It was very dramatic when it fell too. Anyway, the only other change that I made is because we can see the sun, I have switched over. Well, now I'm holding my own iPad while I record this. I've now changed my auto bracketing to 7F, okay, from -2 to +2. I'm going to try to focus on the screen by touching it with my nose. Oh, hey, that kind of worked. So yeah, 7F, 7 frames. Other settings, in case you're wondering, I know you always are. ISO 100 still. F8, everything should be in focus. The only other thing that's you might find interesting is I'm on this timer mode right here. Okay, so that means that when I take my photo, what happens is it'll pause 2 seconds and then it will take all the photos. Listen. So that's kind of a fun, quick way to take your photos if you have a D800, or there's a few other models that do that as well. Okay, here's one final update. I'll probably stay here for another 30 minutes or 45 minutes, maybe an hour, waiting for the lights to come on down in the city below, because I think that'll be pretty. But we can see Mount Fuji pretty clearly. We can see all the snow up there, and I think it's nice how all the swirling clouds are aiming up like that. And now that the sun's down, I've just switched to 5 auto brackets from -2 to +2. Although there's really not that much dynamic light out here. You could probably make the case just for 3 from -1 to +1, but I'll just keep doing overkill for now. Anyway, I'm able to get the whole shooting match in, and let me just go to live view here. Okay, so this shows you the range of everything I can see in the lens. Alright, if you have any questions or anything, just drop me a note in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks!